mean, yes, I'm fine.
All right, here we go.
I thought you asked me if I was ready. I was like, yeah, if you are, I'm good, baby.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Sunday morning, ready to do some podcasting and during this March Madness. Thanks for hanging
Yeah,
out with us.
and nobody brackets is right because I look like all the number ones was trying to lose, attempted to lose, or lost.
I know Duke's out. I texted my dad. I said, "Damn, your team, because he knew what I meant. He been texting me all year after every Carolina loss, and we don't
Yes,
have
he
a lot of.
has. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't care. We beat Coach K on his last game ever, and on his last game in Cameron. So, for me, it's basically been a year off. I don't give a fuck what Carolina does. But he said, "What time did Carolina play today, or yesterday, or the day before?" We were overachievers this year. I'm proud of my white boys. Ha 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 ha. And then I texted him back, "Is we sick?" And then he said, "We is chilling and headed to the lake to do some fishing." And he sent me a picture of some delicious fried fish, that I can't get in this area of New York that I'm in. He
Not
said,
that
I
type of
made this.
fish.
He said, "I made this for your mom today." I said, "Damn, I miss home." And so I guess he won, kinda. You know, uh, it hurt more than anything with Carolina to see that fish I can't have. So
And your daddy is funny. He does the old black man thing where he don't want to come out and say he misses you, but he misses you. It is hilarious. Like I had said anything to him yet. Next time I see him, I'm like, just come out and say you miss your boy. 'Cause,
yeah, I mean, I miss them.
oh
Yeah,
yeah. But it's just funny though. He'll throw his like, cause he been fishing and stuff like that, and he be showing me the fish and stuff like that. And he be like, "Well, when Roger come back, I'm gonna give you the fish." I'm looking like, "Well, nigga, you can give me the fish now. Why we gotta wait till your boy come back? I can stick that bitch in the freezer." He was
because
like,
you're
"No,
not
no,
gonna cook
no."
it. You're not gonna cook it, and it's gonna be up to me. If it was,
Well, shit, at least it be in here waiting on you. Don't be
uh,
teasing me, talking about I just caught some fish and cleaned it and filleted it, and I did all this nice little shit too. But we gonna wait till my boy come back. I'm looking like, ain't nobody got time to wait for Roger. I can stick it in the freezer. You got it now. I take it now, sir. What is we waiting on?
you can contact the show with all the contact information that's in the show notes. Just keep scrolling wherever you're listening to this. The official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport.
What about
A bullet ball, extreme. And don't forget also, like, to watch the show live, go to crowdcast.io and put in TBGWT, the Blackout Test, whatever. Follow our channel, and you can set your settings where you can get notified whenever we go live, so you can get a little email like, "Hey, they're about to go live," and you can hop in the chat with these fools and start talking up a storm and all that
talk
stuff.
about random shit, untopic related, just about your lives and everything
Right.
else.
All right. Now we are coming down to the home stretch of me being in New York and stuff. So next week, this week that we're about to experience, you won't get a lot of shows, if any, because Karen will be up here. Then the week after that, I'll be getting ready to go back to Charlotte, and our last show taping of Game Theory is going to be on Thursday night, not Friday at noon like it's normally been.
Okay.
So one, it's gonna be interesting to see how they get the audience in there and what that crowd's gonna be like. But two,
Right, I don't even know if it's an option, because when you go, it don't even think it had that date as an option.
Okay, so we'll have to figure something out. I mean, it's above me. I don't do the booking for the crowd,
Right.
but the thing is, I can't wait to get home. So when they moved up the last day of the tape, and I moved up the day of my flight, so I'll be leaving the next morning if everything goes to plan. So
Yeah, you can go with me to the Hornets game. I'm looking
yeah,
at
that's the reason I'm coming back that early, because I miss going to the Hornets games, even if they're sorry. And
yeah.
then what's
I
the
bet
weather like over there right now?
Let's see. What is it with like?
I
Let
saw
me.
I got an alert from the Nest or something, or the Ring alarm that was like it's gonna be below freezing. I was like, it's below freezing there.
Is that 31? That says Manhattan. The fuck is this? That's why I said sometimes I have to
Well,
look.
that's because you're logged in as me on my computer.
Oh, that's why I be confused on this computer. I mean, like, that temperature ain't right. Let me check.
It's all right. This I'll just check it myself. It's 39 in Charlotte. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
I was like,
But
let me check my phone and see what's happening. And I know what I gonna say about the Hornets game. It's funny though, because every time I go to the Hornets game, when you go through like the routine where you go up the elevator and all that stuff,
mhm.
and because we going to the game so frequently, me, I chit chat with everybody, and so a lot of them recognize and remember my face. So I remember when your mom first started coming, they was like, "This ain't the person you normally come with." So you come back with me, they be like, "Okay, you don't brought your traveling buddy with you, yeah." So even the people at the what you call it started asking about you at the post office. They were like, "We ain't seen Rod in a while. We ain't seen no Hello Fresh." I was like, "Well, Roger going out of town." I said, "Hello Fresh will be back up here when he get back." So people been asking about you. They been like, "Hey, this ain't the normal routine. What's happening? What's going on?" So I'm really excited about going to the game and eating the buffet and that it's for those of you that don't know, me and Roger got this running joke where we sit. If you look up in the top corner, is the speaker. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, they do the Chick-fil-A toss where they toss these cars off the roof, off the thing. And one of them got hung there, and it's been there every day. So every time I go back, I always look up there, and it's still there. That little Chick-fil-A card is holding tough. I guess ain't nobody shook it off yet. I know that bitch done expired by now.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll be back soon, hopefully, and get to experience all that stuff and say hello to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget the other thing I was gonna say. I can't remember now. But yeah,
Oh, my
um,
bad. I didn't mean to bump your train of thought.
it happens. It's fine.
It's about missing or coming home or something.
No, I can't remember what it was, but yeah. So I'll be wrapping up my time in New York and stuff. The show's going well. We got 2 episodes left. You know, people really enjoyed this last episode. Bo especially
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it.
This last
You
episode was
know,
really good.
and hopefully people that love the Morning Jones, as soon as they saw the opening, you know, video of Man on the Street, and you see Mike Hitman there with that fur coat on talking to Bo, I hope people felt the way we felt that night. I still need to go through and post all my pictures and videos and stuff from the season, just so because I keep posting just the video or the reel, but I want
Mm-hmm.
y'all to see some of the other stuff, because like, man, that was just a special night. And and like this episode particularly, man, I wrote a lot of it, so I had my hands all over this shit, and it makes me feel good that it was good. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to
Yay!
because it wouldn't be no point in getting credit for some shit and your shit is whack. It's like, yeah, I wrote that, and everybody's like, yeah, it was whack.
Mm-hmm.
So that if Bo feels great about it, and then to me, I'm like, then mission accomplished, because I think the show would be great if, as long as he feels great about it.
I have a question, and you might not know this, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. You know how they do like a little thing where people ask Bo questions and they snip it for the
Yeah.
internet? Did they do that with the Man on Streets?
Man on the Street is a little bit different than that. Like, we come up with questions and prompts for Bo to answer, because like, see, the thing with Man on the Streets is we can't, it's too many resources to allow it to be 100% off the cuff, because it needs to tie into what we're going to talk about on the show.
Right.
It needs to have like an angle to it that doesn't reveal exactly what we're talking about right away.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a meticulous process that Ted, the head of the like field team department, people that go out and film all this shit, when y'all see them like filming at Cleveland Browns Stadium, like Ted and his team are flying out there to do that shit. So Ted is a very meticulous planner, and he always
As
has
he has to be, even if he get on your nerves, he was like, "Look, y'all, I have to do this because if I don't, some shit gonna be fucked up, and everybody gonna be like, why the shit fucked up?"
yeah, that's one of the reasons
Right.
it don't really bother me. Like, I push past the quote unquote annoyance of it, because I think a lot of the people get caught up in the annoyance and the tedium of it. But I
Mm-hmm.
push past that because I'm like, the worst thing that can happen is that we don't give him any feedback and then it's whack, and then we get it and we either cut it or we just go, we put out a whack piece today and we feel bad about it. And it's like, well, part of that is because when we had chances to intervene or to put input in, we chose not to do it. There was a piece that
Right.
we're not going to do. I won't tell the details on it on air, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a piece we're not going to get to do probably. But and I had heard that we might not get to do it, but he had sent like a document like, hey, if y'all have ideas for my questions, add them in here. And I went in there and put in some ideas because I was like, even if this shit, one, is a good thought exercise, or two, if this shit don't get canceled, now he's just out there like, fuck, I asked him for help and nobody helped me,
Correct.
and so
Correct.
you can't
And
knock
that
that.
those things matter to him when he sees people interacting and responding to him. Like you, like, hey, you make help me help you. That's his job. Help
Yeah.
me help you.
Yeah. So but yeah, the questions in the studios are like, either I don't know if it's like they're attributing them to the people in the audience or those people really did ask those specific questions. I have no
Right.
idea.
Okay. No problem.
That's like our social media department behind that. But
Mm-hmm.
I know his answers are off the cuff. Like I don't know that he, like, it's not written in the teleprompter or something. He may or may not have knowledge of the question ahead of time, but I'm leaning towards he doesn't, because a lot of times they like to get Bo off the cuff. Like, it's a big thing for us to try to generate as much of the show
It's a
into
genuine
feeling like,
response out of him,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to prepare him too much unless it's something really important, like, hey, we just need you to know to have a take on this thing. But
Right. How the
nah,
question
so
is gonna be formed is another thing, but
right.
just know it's gonna you might get hit with one of these questions.
I don't know, maybe you can ask a question or something. I don't know if they ask y'all, because I don't know what it's like from your perspective as an audience member. If they ask the people in the audience, like, do you have a question for Bo? Or if they just say, hey, we're gonna tell them that this is your question. I have no idea. It's all showbiz to me.
Yeah, me either. Like I said, I don't know if it's a question place. I just don't know where it is or skipped
Yeah.
it. I'm not sure. But when you probably ask question, they probably filter through the questions. Hey,
Mhm.
these people are coming. On this day, because everybody that they pick normally is in the live audience on that day. So obviously they know you're going to be quote unquote be there.
Yeah.
And so
And a lot of them are stand-up comics and stuff. And
mm,
some of them you may recognize and know, like Gastor Almonte. I think Rojo Perez was in one.
mm-hmm.
And be on the lookout. Okay. I put in a call in for a favor, and hopefully we got just within the next couple of weeks, be on the lookout for a man on the street that y'all might recognize. I'm not gonna spoil it, but
Don't
if it go well, I hope y'all, I mean, I'm gonna spoil it if you follow me on social media, because I'm definitely gonna go out there when it's their turn for man on the street, because I just want to meet them and say hey. um and that'll probably be like Tuesday night or something,
mm-hmm.
so I'll probably go out and talk to him. But yeah, just be on the lookout. Oh yeah, Chris Lambert was already on there, and that's not who I'm talking about. It's somebody that y'all haven't seen on the show yet, but somebody that y'all know through the podcast world. But yeah, that's, so things are going well with the show. And um is I'm still ready to come home. I miss home, but
Yeah, because ain't nothing like it. Yeah, I feel you on that one.
yeah, I've just been able to, like, I've just not thought about home or push myself into that mode for the last 4 months, because it's just been like, you gotta live every day in the day, which is
Mm-hmm.
why I probably haven't made a lot of plans. I haven't gone out and done stuff unless people have like actively reached out and been like, hey man, we need to do something. Like, most of the time I'm just like, day at a time, work,
Mm-hmm.
let's do this work. But and I think since I didn't plan to be here like an extra week or something, I haven't made extra plans. But
Right.
um but yeah, man, it's been crazy. So trying to think if there's anything else before we get into the show. I think that might be it. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking whatever it was, I lost it, guys. Let's get into the show segments. And maybe it'll come back to me at some point. But let's do some coronavirus news. It's only a little bit of stuff. And just two
Look,
articles.
here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dummies expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit, I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kumpo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans, man, damn. Looks like it's no Drew Holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus, fuck that COVID-19 is unseen, it's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah. So fuck that COVID-19 is unseen, it's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah.
Coronavirus news. There's only a couple articles. The first one is apparently Tilda Swinton, who y'all may know as the Ancient One from the Marvel
Strange
franchise. She refuses to follow COVID-19 protocols on film sets.
Wow.
And it's interesting because
like people don't want to get sick, dog. And you the star. So if you go down, you fucking up filming. You fucking up a lot of shit when you go down, dog.
Yeah, she's 62. She gave a keynote talk at the South by Southwest Film and TV Festival, and she expressed her delight that the audience members no longer had to wear masks to attend such events. Later in the conversation, she shared that she is over safety protocols and has refused to wear a mask to keep herself coronavirus free before shooting her next movie. I'm about to shoot a picture in Ireland, and I was told to wear a mask at all times, and I'm not, she said. She acknowledged the conversation was being recorded and insisted that she is very healthy, as she has had COVID-19 multiple times.
That's not good at all. And all jokes aside, for some people, depending on it, they might not tell you stuff, but they'll be looking like, you know what? No, we're not going to deal with that. What we're not going to do is cast you because we don't want to deal with you buffing and arguing with the people that are just trying to do their fucking job. We can get somebody else to do this.
I know
you're just not worth the hassle.
I know Marvel glad they killed her character off, but
I know they
she said also she revealed to W Magazine last year that she was unable to get out of bed for 3 weeks when she had COVID in August 2021.
You don't say.
She also said she was suffering from long COVID and it had affected her memory.
Your whole job is to read scripts and memorize. The fuck? That's your job.
This is a weird flex.
So maybe it's just me. I'm on the outside looking in. Basically, you're going, I'm stupid. I caught long COVID, y'all. I am a prime example of why you need to take your ass and get that shot fucking immediately. Catching it multiple times, having brain fog. It doesn't make sense. It's like people, and it's amazing, particularly. And she's older too, and a lot of times that older people are the people that's affected the quote unquote most right now. Even if they do have their shots and stuff because of your immune system and shit like that. So it's like, come on, I was like, this doesn't make sense for you to be fighting against this. So, and my thing, they're not asking you to do anything unreasonable. It's just America. Fuck yeah. It shit don't make no fucking sense.
I'm not even sure she's American, but yeah, it's just. I mean, and it's a simple ask. Like, you're about to be on a movie set and see what the thing about the movie set. There's unions. So Woody Harrelson, these actors are acting like they're making individual choices. Like, I'm just da-da-da-da. The thing is, a lot of the unions have mandated that there be COVID testing on site and that there be protocols, or else you can't have those people in the unions working there. Or, like if there's violations, they could get reported on that set. So it's bigger than her. It's not really about her. But the writers, for example, we have a union. There's rules with COVID that are completely about, because the writers union said the writers won't go back to work unless they're getting COVID tested when it's above a certain threshold in their local area. So you may have to get tested every day. You may have to get a PCR test if you miss a day of work. You may have to get every other day,
You come back from
depending on your
vacation.
proximity to the actors. That's another thing. Actors have to get tested a certain amount of time. So when she says this, and people, because I know a lot of people now are like, yeah, but I mean, we kind of are just doing what we want to do. And you're right, we really are. People, it's up to them.
But I'm not on a
Not
movie
on the
set
movie
either.
set, not at the job.
Right. I'm not on a movie set. That's
This isn't
completely
her going
different.
to the grocery store. This is bigger than her. So
Right.
she's just jeopardizing a bunch of people's money, because if she's out, especially if she has another 3-week bout of some, then that's 3 weeks of filming money and 3 weeks of salary and all this shit that someone got to pay somewhere for all these people that can't do their job.
That's
But
my whole point. So I'm telling you, if I was somebody considering picking her, I'd be like, scratch her off the list. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with, like you say, all these unions and shit getting angry every time she fucking come through the door, because it was like, we gotta wear masks. She should wear a mask too. Or people like me to go, well, I don't want fucking COVID because she's decided that she decided fuck it.
the Woody Harrelson shit is even worse to me, because he did a movie that's with like vulnerable people, like special needs people. That's what the whole movie's about. And then he's bragging about how he ain't wearing masks and he's anti-vax and shit. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, you can't make Tilda Swinton wear a mask. You can't make her get vaccinated. You can't make her do anything. You can only ask, and she could be like,
No.
And that's true. But what you can decide is if she's going to be on your next movie. That's what you can decide.
Now.
So right now you can be like, oh, that's what we on. All right, we good.
Yeah, and it's just crazy how much they feel like heroes for telling the world. It's like you could also just not do these things and don't tell nobody.
Right, and you actually look stupid. And the thing is, if you wear your mask and sit anti-vax, ain't nobody gonna bother you. Cause we don't give a fuck if you anti-mask or not. We just ask you to wear your mask for these few minutes, and then you can go do whatever the fuck you want to after and before this.
I just don't know why you would tell people, even if you weren't doing shit. Even if you were like, I'm not wearing a mask, I'm not, like, clearly we're at a point where most people aren't gonna ask. They're gonna, because most people are gonna assume you're intelligent and be like, well, if they're not wearing a mask, they must know something. You know what I mean? They, who knows what it is, but they feel safe, and we all, or whatever, we all kind of getting by on that. For me, it's like certain events I go out, I'm just like, I know no one's gonna be wearing a mask. I'm not gonna be wearing my mask at this time, and I'm risking it, even though I know the numbers are low and all this stuff. Like it's a lower risk than it would have been a few months ago. But
agreed.
It is a risk, and I know I'm taking that educated risk. Then I hop in the Uber. Sometimes it's a small space with one person. I might put on a mask. It just depends. And I might open up a window or something. It's like, but it's always a risk at this point. I was in the Uber and the driver started coughing. I pulled my mask out like a condom. I was like, I don't know about you, buddy.
Because you never know.
Because I give you, listen, I spot you one cough. Okay, that's what I do. I give you a one cough spot. Maybe you had to clear your throat. Maybe some food went down the wrong pipe. Maybe you drank the water too fast. You get 2 coughs, man. Everybody gotta go back, mask back up. What's going on, buddy? What's happening?
Yeah, because that's the thing. All these things, they're not the same, but some of the symptoms is the same. A cold, a cough, the flu, the COVID, all have some of the same, foundational symptoms. So you're like, well, since I don't know, I'm going to act like you got all of it. And the thing is, people act like, for some people that wear masks, people act like there's something wrong with you for being like the one of the single person to wear a mask. And sometimes
I really don't think this. So this is something that people keep saying, but I'm being 100% honest. I've never had an issue wearing a mask anywhere. No one has ever said anything to me. We're 3 years in this thing. I've never been singled out. I've never been called out. No one's like threatened me. Not like it's like, for the most part, from my experience, everyone, maskless or masked up, everyone is leaving everybody the fuck alone. Period. Yeah, whatever insecurities you walk out your house with, that's on you. If you looking for some problems, you'll find some problems.
Yeah,
so you walk out the house and you just like, I'm gonna eyeball everybody in my mask until they put the knee.
Not eyeball everybody.
Like, for the most part, people just leaving people alone. You know what I'm saying? Period. And I haven't. And for the record, of course, I'm not an idiot. I'm saying when I'm out in public, other people out in public, I've never seen someone else get bothered with for having a mask. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just is. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I feel like it's a lot of it is our paranoia in our head of like, yeah, I'm gonna stick out. Someone gonna say something to me. I know they got a problem with me wearing this mask right now. And it's like, for the most part, whatever problem they got is inside their body and they not gonna come out their mouth. So you can just keep moving. Like, whatever make you feel comfortable, just do that shit. Cause ain't nobody gonna stop you.
Mm-mm.
You know? So I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Now wearing a mask in public is almost like a when black people see each other type thing. But you know, like when two black people that
everybody give everybody hitting on.
and like, okay,
I
you
see
cool,
you.
cool. So you read the newspaper, like, you know, oh, you watch MSNBC or whatever. It's not. I just don't think. Like I said, I haven't seen it be a confrontational thing for years now, because it's kind of become normalized. If you want to do it, people might think it's ridiculous or pointless. I mean, I've seen people wear
it's more of that how people just talk about how ridiculous, and I don't think it's all ridiculous and pointless.
Yeah, it might. You know, we know they work,
right?
But you know, to some extent, I'm like I said, I just feel like people is turning to something that is not really honest, which is that people will say the right thing of like, yeah, man, I'm gonna wear my mask all the time. It's like, okay, so what'd you do last weekend? I went out to the comedy club. Were you eating and drinking? Yes. Did you wear your mask all the time? No. Okay, so then when you see somebody without their mask, don't be a dick. It's fine. You know, like I said, I don't think Tilda Swinton is doing anything super crazy other than saying it. Because I think she could have got like with the numbers being as low as they are right now, she probably could get by with not getting COVID and go do that movie shoot. And as long as she don't show up with COVID, most people gonna be like, okay, cool. We didn't even know this woman had caught COVID all this fucking times, and we didn't know she was anti-mask and all that. We didn't know this, and we didn't need to know this shit. She volunteered it,
right?
And so now we gonna have to act like, you know, and talked about having it many times and shit. Like, she's a fucking weirdo. She's an outlier, but
yeah,
she's gonna use the fact that people aren't wearing masks as much anymore to be like, see, I was right. And it's like, but that's not really what happened, Tilda. A lot of people just are following the numbers and shit and being like, okay, it's safer now than it was. I'm vaccinated. There's a safer than it was a couple years ago. You had COVID 7 times. Maybe you should shut the fuck up.
Right.
But yeah, she dumb. New genetic data suggests COVID originated from raccoon dogs. First of all, I did not know they had raccoon dogs.
Me either. First time I heard, I was like, "What they have?" I did not know this because I'm not from there. They have like open air markets where they like sell animals and things like that. And so they was like, in these areas, people sell raccoon dogs. I was like, "What the fuck is a raccoon dog?"
Yeah, it's like if you mix a German Shepherd with Jason Whitlock, you get a raccoon dogs. You know?
Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, they said previously unavailable genetic testing data suggested COVID pandemic originated from animals, not a lab, and what some experts are calling by far the strongest evidence to support animal origins. Yeah, this has been a big thing, and it feels like this goes back and forth every week. I'm not even really sure that it matters whether it was a lab or animal. I'm sure it matters to some people on some extent,
to the scientists and stuff, because they say that's how most of it spread from like a bat or, you know what I mean, something like that. So they're like, we need to know why.
Like, I'm just not sure that it 100% matters. But I guess on a geopolitical scale, it matters so that someone can be blamed. Like, what y'all doing working with this? But it just feels like us blaming another country for experimenting with this means we probably must be doing some type of shit like that. Like that's just how it feels. If the first thing you jump to is like, y'all did this and we know it's because y'all was fucking around with them vaccine viruses trying to make super weapons, it's like, now why would that be? That's like when you look in someone's phone, it's like, why are you looking through my phone? You must be cheating, you know?
Right? Like, what's happening?
So yeah, that's the coronavirus news. Let's get into some other news. I guess we can just do some regular ass news for a second. All right. Um, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach were spotted near New York half marathon start line after regular sex workouts.
I didn't know they're having sex workout. They're doing it in front of. I'm confused. What's happening here?
It's in the title. Shout out to the Daily Mail. What the fuck is a sex workout?
That's what I want to know.
And how do they know they having them? I guess like
Yes.
is this just another term for having sex, or is their closest source close to the source? Sources close to the relationship know that they're sex workouts.
I don't know. So, what did they just fucking it just come out when they workout clothes like they've been at the gym? I don't get it.
They said since the trip, the pair have reportedly been preparing for the event held in Manhattan and Brooklyn by keeping up their fitness with intimate sex workouts that insiders revealed to Daily Mail earlier that have whipped them into the best shape of their lives. Sex workouts. This is the most blatant cheating I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like this before because the entire point, and I get our nasty, messy, salacious audience is like, oh yes, good. You know, I get it. Y'all are the best. But being real for a second, the entire point of the job they had was to sell like a weird fake wholesomeness.
Right. And that
I've
was
never
broken.
seen people light their money on fire like this. Like they can't come back and do the same show they were doing to the audience they were doing it to. Like
right, maybe they get a whole nother audience.
Maybe they can like change what they do and keep hosting together, but it'll have to turn into some type of weird, raunchy, like selling sex without selling sex type of show that's a little bit different than the morning show. I think that morning shows do that too, but like it will have to be some overtly selling sex, I think. Whatever they do next, if they work together,
there can't be no sexual quote unquote tension while we think it, but we just assume that they're not. That's not.
Yeah, now they will have to be openly like, girl, I'm gonna tear that ass up later after the break coming up. We're talking with Michael Strahan. Like,
hey, they gonna start the show. Hey, it's steak and blowjob day, so we know what we've been doing later on at night. You know, that's what shit they're gonna have to do now.
Yeah, they're gonna be interviewing porn stars at their next job the way they going, talking about sex workouts. You know, our sponsor today, black.com. But yeah, that was just really weird. But they keeping it going. So shout out to those two crazy kids.
You know, they go black.com. It's all deep.
Yeah, what a weird decision. It's like the kind of decision that if one of them was your friend, you would check in on them and be like, you sure?
All right.
DJ, you good, bro? I keep seeing you. I mean, your ex-wife, your wife called me and we're looking for you, and is everything good? And I'm fine. It's like, all right, this is a cocaine decision.
Right.
How you gonna work again, bro?
How you gonna? But you can work again, but you're not gonna be able to work in this industry.
Actually, at this point, when you call him, it's like TJ. He's like, it's Lutellis now. I'm like, okay, I'll see you, player.
Call me by my whole name.
You see what you into. He's like, I've chosen the side, Lutellius Jr. This is a article I didn't know existed, a phenomenon. People are apparently washing their toilet seats in the dishwasher.
What?
There you go. Detaching it.
Where you put your ass?
Putting it right in the bottom rack. And there's a couple things I want to note here. They are putting it in the rack, and the rack has dishes in it for food.
That's what I was about to say. Why are they current what's happening here?
The second thing I like to note is if you look at how much it fills up the dish rack, there's no room for the bar that shoots the water to move.
Just spin.
It can't spin because you haven't left. There has to be a little bit of space at the top. There's no space.
Circles.
And I'm gonna keep the video playing, and I'll tell you about a third thing I noticed. Mhm. Okay, we've
That's
now seen about 5 videos. Okay. All right. So we've seen 4 videos. Karen, do you notice the third thing I noticed?
these ain't nothing but white people. What the fuck is
Yes.
this? Ain't
Yes.
no niggas doing this bullshit. You better get you some Pine Sol or Ajax or some baking soda if you want to be cheap and water some shit like that and clean your fucking toilet seat.
Every arm was Caucasian as hell.
Take it
Uh,
apart if you got to. Fuck
you
that.
don't wash your legs, but you wash your toilet seats in the dishwasher, boy. Things is what is happening. Y'all got to get some real oppression going on over there.
You better do like black people do. Sprinkle some Ajax across your toilet seat and toilet bowl and let it sit for 2 hours, then come back and scrub it down.
Here's the thing for me too. Right. My personal belief is that this is probably a hoax type prank thing. It's like the NyQuil chicken because it's so ridiculous and stupid. Only somebody that like is purposely doing this shit would do it. It's because it's too stupid.
Right.
And then if you know how a dishwasher works, the way they've angled everything, it wouldn't get clean anyway. Like you can't load a dishwasher the way they load it. Like the angles
they
are
didn't even take
wrong.
it apart. They got it all hooked together and shit.
The other thing I'm noticing is a lot of the toilet seats aren't dirty.
They are not dirty.
They pre-cleaned the toilet seat to put it in the dishwasher. So it's just giving a lot of like trying to get outrage from the internet. But I did think it was funny. The people that did the videos like that would be funny, you know?
Right.
The U.S. is to impose inflation fines on the first set of drugs, lowering costs. So basically, U.S. President Joe Biden said his administration would subject 27 drugs to inflation penalties, a move that will reduce out-of-pocket costs for Medicare recipients by as much as $390 per dose. Drug makers hiked the price for 27 drugs last quarter, higher than the rate of inflation, and will have to pay the difference on those medicines to Medicare, the government health care program for those 65 and older and the disabled. They were saying stuff like people may be surprised that companies, including Eli Lilly, have capped out a pocket expense for stuff like insulin at $35 a month. And this is after Biden's public plea to lower the price for diabetes treatment. He said there's a lot more coming. And this is part of the Inflation Reduction Act that was signed. And one of the things is like it takes a while for these things to take effect, but this was announced when it happened. Those who applauded the bill talked about it when it happened, but I don't know what we can do to keep stupid motherfuckers engaged into being like, oh yeah, that's right. Because now here's a reminder that when you see those costs lowered on your monthly insurance and out-of-pocket expenses going way the fuck down, because we're talking about literally thousands of dollars at some point for insulin. So when you see
people are like, these are like life-saving medications. The fuck.
And people say we want, Democrats don't do shit. Why should I vote? What's the difference between the two parties? This is it. And it takes a little bit of time because it is the government. It's not immediate, but this is huge. And when we do shit like allow the House to swing to Republicans like we did last November, whatever people vote like that, I know a lot of it's voter suppression and stuff, but there are still people voting for these evil motherfuckers. You're voting for your insulin price to be high.
Yes, you are.
So you got this thing from the Biden administration, and I'm just like, what more could we have gotten if we would have just kept our fucking foot on their necks instead of being like, oh, well, we didn't get everything we wanted in 2 years, back to quitting. Like, this shit matters.
Yeah, we could have gotten a whole lot more. And the thing is, the way the system is set up, it's people will pay low rates, won't complain, and won't give credit to who is due. Credit for it dropping. Like they don't mind that. They'll take the benefits from it.
Right.
And then, but when it goes up, they'll complain about it going up and blame the people who have the least amount of power to do anything about it, even though they didn't set them in a place to empower them in the first place. But it's their fault because as far as a lot of the general public is concerned, a lot of the voters the people that can vote, they don't want to take any personal responsibility for anything that they played any role that they played. It's oh this and because if they do take personal responsibility, that means you have to be accountable for what you did, how you threw your vote away, and all this other shit. You have to be accountable for that, and people don't want to be accountable. A lot of people treat our system like, oh, whatever happens, happens. It's so many people to treat our system like that. And you go, well, the fucking shit don't run like that. You do know there's shit where you can actually participate in the process. You don't want to participate in the process. You want to fucking complain about how the process is quote unquote haywire and not going the way you want it to go, but just you don't want to participate in the process.
Yeah, they did this shit with Mansion and Cinema. They still got this stuff through. It's amazing what they did. And the list of drugs that are also facing the penalty. There's more. Humira, the arthritis drug, CAR T, the cancer therapy, Yescarta drug, Padcev, which is another cancer therapy drug. They're all getting anticipating getting these fees to lower the out-of-pocket costs for people. Pfizer had 5 drugs on there. Johnson Johnson had 2. Like this shit is a real impact on real people's pockets, and it's so helpful because especially in the time of inflation and shit, and we're talking about sometimes life-saving medications that these fucking companies are price gouging us for. So I'm glad this is when government works. This is good big government. This is come in and regulate this shit, because an unregulated capitalistic enterprise is always going to just injure everybody except for the 1% of people that make all the money off of it.
Correct. And all you do is basically you say if you ain't rich or have a job with insurance, it's a big flat fuck you.
Right.
You know, even if you got insurance, depending on what kind of insurance you got, some companies just give you the fucking bare minimum. I've had work with jobs like that. Whatever. Like, what's the cheapest plan we got? That's what we getting. And then your employees paying fucking hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars fucking pocket because they don't cover shit. Yes, drop it. Make it reasonable.
Voters rejected legalizing marijuana in Oklahoma for recreational use. Man, what a whack ass state you gotta have to be voting against weed. It's not like they forcing you to smoke weed. They're saying you had as an option. Damn, your state whack. Like, who was against this? The Daughters of the Confederacy, you know? Who the fuck is campaigning on well, we gonna put it on the ballot, but we definitely don't want people voting to smoke it.
And I'll try funny. I wonder with the campaign how it was pushed and promoted to the general public, because a lot of times they'll do slick shit how they push it and promote it a certain way, and people to vote, and they'll be like, "That's not what the fuck I wanted," but they tricked you because they were like, "Well, we present it in a way to kind of scare people, use a quote unquote scare tactic," and it's one of those things too. Well, you hate to be like this. It go back to young people don't vote. Because I guarantee you, it's one of these things where a lot of these old people, these say no to drug niggas, was the folks going out there voting on this bullshit, not the people that was actually want to smoke the shit. They didn't take their asses to the polls.
Yeah, this is why the Biden math was right, and everybody was low key kind of wrong about this whole the youth vote is gonna save us all, and they're gonna be so motivated. It's and I'm not saying the youth didn't turn out. I'm not saying they don't vote, but
as in masses,
because we've seen it in Virginia too. The idea that you just put weed on the ballot and suddenly young people are like, hell yeah. There's a lot of them that still they just don't vote, period. And this is one of those topics where you think youth vote would just turn the fuck out and overwhelmingly crush this shit. And nah, old people still showing up during the off-cycle election said we not smoking weed in our state probably. And now they can't smoke weed in Oklahoma recreationally. That's fucking crazy.
That's exactly what happened. And I could see, I could see this coming back on the ballot again in another year or two, or I could see the state legislature just pass, just getting up and passing, because these states are looking at states that have this shit and looking at all of the fucking money that these states are making, and they're going, why would we pass up on some shit we can fucking tax to death? Like, why are we doing this shit? Like from a state perspective, you looking at your dollar bill, y'all, and y'all look like we can't tax y'all but so much. We can't tax the rich people so much. Like, we can't do but so much shit without everybody whining and complaining now. So we got to, get this money from somewhere.
A woman found a fish that she bought is still alive after 2 days in her freezer.
And then for what kind of fish is this? It didn't freeze to death.
She's Cindy Lau of Cheltenham had purchased a crucian carp from a local fishmonger in Greedford while visiting friends in London for Chinese New Year. Arriving back home, she placed the fish in the freezer, thought nothing more of it until taking the carp out of the freezer to prepare it. And she said she was shocked to find that even after 48 hours on ice, the fish was still alive.
What, it start jumping on the counter or some shit? How the fuck you know what's happening here? Did it look at you? Did the eyes move? The fuck is this? Was it hibernating? What's happening here?
Must have been a Lazarus fish. Her partner, Paul Lewis Borman, said Cindy called me down as she thought she had seen the crucian carp's gills move and asked me what I thought. They certainly were. I was in two minds of whether to put the poor thing out of his misery, but she said, no, it's a miracle. He's still alive. So we got a bowl of water to put him in. And they got a picture of it in the tub and everything. Yeah, that's the fish, Lazarus.
Been a dead fish.
They named the fish Lazarus, by the way.
Oh no!
I think this is like this is how you start like the next Blumhouse horror film. You know, like dead fish that comes alive and kills everybody in the house and shit. You know. But yeah, they ran a bath to place the fish in, and they since named him Lazarus after the figure in the Bible who rose from the dead. They said the carp was listless for a while, but after 20 minutes, those gills were certainly going. We had nowhere to keep him except the bath, and luckily we have another shower room. Needless to say, he could not stay here, and it did put you off when you were trying to use the toilet. They eventually decided to find a home for him. They posted an online forum, and they found a woman with a koi carp pond who said she would take care of the fish. He needed to be rehoused, if for no other reason than my girlfriend was paying the fish more attention than she did me. He had been through a lot. He was sandwiched between all those dead fish for all that time. Yeah, you make some great points. Psychologically, this had to fuck that fish up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's like this is like the Matrix when Neo woke up out of the Matrix. That's what this
was like. What can I move?
Like he woke up out of the Matrix and then realized he was in a pod with the rest of humanity, basically, but the fish version of that. So yeah, good on y'all. He had been through a lot. He was
with the right family, because honey, did they hit the wrong one? Lazarus wouldn't have made it.
Blackout.
Lazarus would have been in a Lazarus pot, because they were like, fuck that, we're gonna chop your head off, we're gonna scare you, clean you, we're gonna fry you.
Big enough to fit in my hand, big enough to go in the pan. Okay, listen.
Come on, we're gonna bake you, fricassee you.
If that would have been my dad, it would have been like, oh, cool, a fresh fish. That's what I'm talking about.
You'd have been in somebody's stew.
I just think it'd been Lazarus fillets or fried Lazarus. We are pleased he has now a good home. The lady told us he now has a best fish friend who he happily is swimming about with him in his new home. All right, good story there. Mm-hmm. You know, you love to hear it. Let's see what else we got here. Here's a story on penises, or on men's genitalia. I guess people with penises. Anyway,
don't you mean that dick, a cock, as they like to call it too?
I don't know who's funding all the stories on cocks, but listen, the cock industrial complex is booming. Okay,
ain't it though?
The money never runs out for studies.
Cock is the funniest word in the world to me, because I don't use it that often. So that's so it's just fun to say it, because I'm like, cock. Like, no, we don't say that.
Yeah, I had a joke I was thinking about. Like, it was something to the effect of like, you could tell if your man's been cheating if he started using different like sex talk in bed, but you can definitely tell they've been cheating with a white person if they start saying cock. Because niggas don't say that.
They be like, cock, nigga, what the fuck you talking about?
We don't use that. I've only heard that in porn. Nobody uses. No, black people don't lose. Only black people that use cock are in interracial relationships. Let's just be frank.
Sir.
Let's just be frank. you you going to the dark, you going to the white side when you
You have
start
gone to the other side. You come here talking about licking my cock, sir.
yeah, that's not of us. Like, so if you ever start having sex, or like, you know that there's some whiteness on the dick facts on that person
You were
on the
like, sir, this is not Yoga Pants 21. What are we talking about here? If you don't get out of here.
on the registry, there's some whiteness in the on the resume, because no way in the world they learned that from us. Either that or they learned it from porn or something, because black people do
Yes.
not say cock. And when I say porn, you know the type of porn, because we don't say it on our porn.
We don't say it on our porn either.
Yeah, so that's how I knew like JL Covan had been socialized white, because he said cock one time. I said, oh, he said it too easy in his joke.
It rolled off the tongue too quickly.
That's why they be saying the N-word around you. So are you a man or a mouse?
It starts with cock. It turns into nigga.
I know he listens, so I just picture him somewhere feeling like,
Now where am I headed?
Catching a stray bullet.
yeah. But yeah, you come on, guys. You know the cock corollary. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so this study found that men who drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi had higher testosterone levels and larger genitals than their peers.
All the sugar.
What? What does that mean, Karen? Please, scientist Karen, all that sugar does what exactly? Please.
Apparently it goes straight to the cock and balls. Apparently that's what it does. Based off of the scientific number statement that you gave me. That's what that's what it goes on, men. Just know when you turn it up, man. That's where the Coke and Pepsi is going.
I always say, if you want to know what a dicks is, go down to the dialysis center. Okay, because some people have had a lot of sugar. They had a lot of sugar, and they got a lot of dick. What? The unusual finding appears to contradict previous studies that shown that sugary drinks and processed foods make men less fertile. But there is some evidence that high caffeine intake can ramp up testosterone production in the body, which leads to greater sperm production and larger testicles. Experts are not suggesting that men rush out and drink lots of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, although I'm sure that would have made a hell of a fucking Super Bowl ad.
Yes. So what's happening? Your sperm's down there chilling, and all of a sudden they get a caffeine kick. Oh, buddy, you feel that? I got to do something. Honey, you definitely gonna get pregnant that night, honey. That sperm gonna come out full-fledged.
But yeah, they said previous studies have linked sugary sodas to a host of health problems, including obesity, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and tooth decay. Experts from Northwest Minzu University in China set out to show that sugary sodas were bad for male fertility. They cited previous research which showed the carbonated drinks had negative effect on female ovaries. One group of 30 male mice were kept in a cage, and their water bottle was filled with 50% Pepsi and mixed with tap water. Well, no one drinks it that way.
Right. We drink it straight. You up there cutting the Coke.
This is literally
the whole Coke.
This is literally of mice and men, because I thought they were going to be talking about men, and now we on some mice experiment.
Right. What is happening here? We did mice and men's cock, apparently.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Coca-Cola, where they had one group get half soda, half water, and the other group of mice got water only. All mice could drink as much as they please for 15 days. The mass of the mice's testicles measured day 5, 7, 10, 13, and 15. That's when they measured their balls to see how full they were.
Okay.
Day 15, the mass of the mice's testicles was significantly higher in the group that drank Coca-Cola and 100% Pepsi compared to 50% Pepsi in the control groups. So there you guys go. Proof is in the balls of the mice.
So big Coke, apparently. So Coca-Cola and eugenics is gonna be out here talking about, hey guys. Yeah,
Eugenics?
yeah, you the eugenics.
Oh, nugenics. Okay.
That's what I meant. Oh, I tore that up. My bad. I didn't mean that's I used the wrong word. I thought about what I said. I'm talking about the I'm talking about with the old like football players and shit that be like, you want some of this to raise your T? The Coca-Cola be like, you can do this to raise your T. That's they both gonna be promoting the same things.
Oh my goodness.
That's why you come to the show. Well, fuck it, we do it live. You don't never know what's gonna happen on here. Roger be all organized. He has all his thoughts and shit, and I be winging it, as you can tell.
The Black Podcast Listener Report came out from edisonresearch.com. 43% of U.S. Black population are monthly podcast listeners. Black women podcast listeners are more likely to be monthly listeners, and Black men podcast listeners are more likely to be weekly listeners. Among Black monthly podcast listeners, 55% are women, but among Black weekly podcast listeners, 52% are men. So men, I guess, listen more often to podcasts.
Let me tell you why. Because Black women like, bitch, I got another degree. That's why. Another certificate, another certification. Oh, that's what they out here doing.
Many Black monthly podcast listeners have begun listening to podcasts recently. 48% have been listening to podcasts less than a year, and 27% have been listening less than 6 months. So this is a lot of new growth.
Yeah, and I could. And the thing is, I think, well, you say okay, less than a year, but I think for a percentage of people started listening during the pandemic because it was at home. And also I think for some people they're actually going back to work, so they in the office for extensive periods of time. For some people say that, what can I do? They tired listening to regular radio. They done played through all their song lists because a lot of niggas don't go out and look for new music and shit like that. So they're like, okay, what is something new I can listen to, that would quote unquote keep me engaged. And also I think that particularly for a lot of people, for a lot of Black people, they're actually, not that we didn't know what podcast was, but a lot of us actually finding out. You hear your friends and shit going, I listen to a podcast, I'm a podcaster. So for a lot of people, I can see a lot of people just getting interested in it and going, okay, let me find out what this podcast shit I hear everybody talking about.
34% of Black monthly podcast listeners have stopped listening to a podcast they used to listen to regularly, but the creators can address some of the reasons why. 24% of those who stopped listening said it was because the show stopped producing new episodes.
Yeah,
I think that's also because people are going back out, and a lot of people that started podcasting during the pandemic are probably stopping. Comedians especially, because they weren't doing like in-person shows. So it's like, I gotta do something to keep my brand alive. I gotta do podcasts, and so they do the podcast, and then it's like, all right, well now you can go back to doing stand-up in person. And a lot of them are like, yeah, it's not as important to do the podcast now.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and there for podcasts across the board, there were a lot of podcasts that pop up, and all jokes aside, a lot of times are like brand spanking new podcasts. I favorite them, but a lot of times I'll come back to wait to not trying to find to see if you cross that 20 mark, that 30 mark, or 40 or 50 mark. Sometimes before I even press play, because in my personal opinion, I'm like, I want to be sure it's worth my time. Like, are you really dedicated to it? And are you really trying to build the craft? Because it's a craft. And I think for a lot of people, they realize it's hard work. And so once they was like, oh, it's not that important, they go, okay, you actually, which I understand, they actually don't want to put the time and the effort behind it that it actually takes to build your audience and all that stuff. And I think a lot of people, when they realize, oh, this is work, and bitch, I got to do this again and shit like that, I got a life, and they was like, well, a lot of people, I got a life. I got kids, I got a husband, I got, like I said, outside open up again. So yeah, people stopped. And I know for me, I actually stopped listening to podcasts. No more reason I stopped listening to some of my favorite podcasts is because of that. They either stopped posting, or they were just too inconsistent. Like, you put out a podcast, like I said, every episode is we back.
They also said 20% said they forgot about the show between seasons, because a lot of these podcasts do seasons, and it's like a TV show almost. Like, you don't set up a DVR to record it when it comes back, and if you unsubscribe from the RSS feed, or you just don't, since seasons are arbitrary, unlike TV, where like a lot of times, depending on, well, I guess TV with all the streaming services now can be
Be
arbitrary, but
arbitrary. Yes, they
a
can. They
lot
don't
of
have a set
times,
schedule. Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of shows, it's like, I know the new season of such and such will be back
In the
in the
fall.
fall.
Yeah.
This is not like that, like
People can
someone
take
can be
3
like,
months, 2 weeks.
they can also say a season is 8 episodes, 2 episodes, 1 episode. Like, you just don't know. They also said that 12% said the host offended them, which I can definitely see. I know I've quit some podcasts because I've been like, yeah, fuck what these motherfuckers talking about.
I have to.
And I'm sure people have quit our podcast because of some shit we've said.
Agreed.
We're giving opinions, and everybody's not going to agree with all these opinions. Black weekly podcast listeners are more likely to engage with podcast advertisers than the overall U.S. weekly podcast listener. After hearing an ad on a podcast, they regularly listen to 61% of Black weekly podcast listeners, compared to 49% of the U.S. weekly podcast listeners recommended a product to a friend or family member. 68% of Black weekly podcast listeners, compared to 63% U.S. weekly podcast listeners, gathered more information about a company or product, and 52% of them, compared to 44% of the general, purchased the product or service. Now, this one's the most important to me, because a lot of times the advertisements that we get offered are much less than white podcasters. The audience size is much less typically than white podcasters, because we talking about black shit,
right,
for black people, and we are two black people, and so sometimes white people just see all that and go, it can't be for me, it must not be good. Now, they're wrong, and
yes, they are.
Anyone can listen to our show, even if it's not a show of centering your experience. But the major thing is, advertisers a lot of times downplay black shows, and it's like, no, our audience is more of a responsive audience than these other shows. Comedians that come on here tell us every fucking time, like, your fans come out to see me. I've been on bigger podcasts. Yes, it's cool to get the exposure, but I don't get the support. I'm just another person that they're just like, yeah, we'll bring in somebody else tomorrow, whatever. Maybe we like him when he's on the show. We like her when she's on the show.
But after that, we don't remember you.
We don't want to listen to their album. We don't want to listen to their podcast.
We're not going to their shows.
We don't want to watch the TV show. Like, you only function in service to the show we already listen to.
Right.
Our audience isn't like that. And advertisers tell us that all the time. Like, your audience is the most responsive. We got the most downloads. We saw our numbers go up. We got people are buying, whatever subscriptions. And it's amazing, because a lot of times the numbers are so unresponsive with these white shows, because the audience is bigger, but they're just less tapped in. Black people finding black people doing black shit want you to succeed, and they want to support your ads. And a lot of times the advertisers that do come look for us, they find us because they look for us. Like, we
so when they find something, they like, oh, thank God I found something.
Yeah, we want to promote our product to a specific audience of black folks. And so, yeah, of course the numbers are off the hook for Bevel. They should have been, So I just think that's interesting, because a lot of people will still turn around and offer us less, or think because we have less listeners, we're less valuable, and won't even offer us an ad. And I'm like, yeah, but you're using the white numbers to judge the black audience, and our audience is different. It's proof. We have the numbers. You spending advertising money with us is more lucrative than you, because one, you're going to definitely you're going to pay us less because we have a less big audience, but you're going to get back more for your buck than you would spending that same money in a white place. But
yes, you
a lot of advertisers do not do that math.
No, they don't do that math, and it's amazing. Me and Roger, we seen the difference between us reaching out and doing things on our own, and us doing what we now do now, which we insert those commercials. We can just tell the difference. And a lot of times they go out and they promote, hey, I got this chunk of whatever, and pay us. versus, and they'll do it, versus if we were to go out individually on our own and they could actually probably pay us less than they paying them, they'd be like, nah, I'm good. It doesn't make sense.
Representation matters to Black podcast listeners. 75% of Black monthly podcast listeners frequently or occasionally follow or seek out content that focuses on Black stories, perspectives on podcasts.
Because shit happens in the Black community and they want to know, and we actually seek things, and we can get information from all over the place, but sometimes you like, I don't want another white ass opinion. All jokes aside, you like, I don't want another white ass opinion. Or something happens and you look around and you be like, y'all not even talking about this. It's because a lot of times it's not on their radar. They don't think about it. They don't consider it. And you like, well, I care about these things. You're not talking about these things. Let me go seek it out somewhere else.
Younger listeners are more likely to listen to podcasts hosted by Black hosts because, you get them before they racist. 57%. I'm not joking.
Well, I'm with you. Yeah.
I feel like white people are socialized out of that shit. And so when they're young, Black is kind of cool, kind of funny.
Yes.
They're open to new ideas. And then, as they get socialized older and older, once you get to like 30s and 40s, they start kind of tamping down on that, feeling the pressure of like a pushback of, am I the bad guy now? And then it's a lot of times they don't go towards cooler. They go towards less cool as traditional voices, and that's how you age into Fox News and shit.
Yes, sir.
And especially considering how much of the podcast landscape is becoming that type of right-wing haven where you can kind of go and say and be, like, this is PragerU or whatever the fuck, and young white men are glomming onto that. So yeah. They said also 57% of Black monthly podcast listeners are age 18 to 24. And they say a lot, or most of the podcasts they listen to are hosted by Black hosts. 35% of Black monthly podcast listeners are age 55 plus, say the same. Podcast topics that have increased the most year over year for Black weekly podcast listeners: music. That makes sense because a lot of hip hop podcasts are just rappers talking about hip hop, old rappers, and you can kind of get on if you're popular in some type of way and you do a hip hop show. People love listening to people's opinions on hip hop. It's crazy, but
and all they do is argue with it, but that's their jam.
Yeah, they love it. They love that shit. Sports, TV and movies. That's a big one. I mean, we've experienced that ourselves, where we just talk about certain shows once a week and then it just turns into like some other shit. Like motherfuckers are just, this is the greatest podcast I ever heard in my life. Like, I came back and listened to the rest of the shows because I like this. Y'all talking about TV, I
was like, I'm glad y'all came. Yes. Because and I think also when Black people talk about cover these shows, particularly if they're predominantly white shows, we'll insert jokes. We'll, we're actually talk about other shit that we'll still stay on topic and cover it, but we just have a different
from a Black perspective. And of course, this is at this point almost a street joke. It's low key kind of a hack joke at this point, but I'm letting everybody cook. I'm not telling y'all not to make the joke or whatever. It's one of the reasons I don't make them on our show. But Black TV recap people always talk about wigs first.
I've realized that a lot of them do. A lot of times that'd be the furthest thing from my. Not unless it's atrocious. Like, it had to be like really, really bad for me to even pay that shit any attention half the time.
It's always, and you can never lose saying the wig is bad. Like, it don't matter if it's good.
You can never lose.
If you say it's bad, everyone will go, be like, that's because you got great wig taste. You can see through it, everything. I'm like, it could be their real hair, and you could be like, it's a terrible wig. People like, they need to step it up. But yeah,
that should be the best.
That's my favorite thing. Social media is a big source of podcast discovery. 36% of Black monthly podcast listeners discover podcasts on social media when they begin listening. It's up from 31% in 2021. This is why we love it when y'all share our podcast on your social media, when you tag us in your stories, when there's a conversation and you're quoting it and you hashtag TBGWT. You know, I mean, now I won't lie, it helps when it's in some sort of context that would allow people to like find the show or understand what's happening. Like I love Leonard Brothers, but sometimes he just quotes shit. I'm like, who even knows what this is about? I did the show.
People be like, what is you talking about, Leonard? Like, we get it, but I know a lot of people be looking at Leonard like, what is you talking about, sir?
Even I don't get it sometimes. That's what I'm saying. I did the show. Sometimes I said what he's tweeting. I'm like, I don't even remember this. Like it'll be something that I don't even like. Okay, let's go. He'll be like, okay, let's go. I'm like, what are y'all saying? Okay, let's go about. Like, what? How would that make somebody want to listen to our show? That everyone
That's
says
hilarious.
Okay,
I love it.
I mean, it's his thing at this point. I look forward to to being like, I don't even know what this means, Leonard. I look forward to it. It's like, I don't know. I think it's a running joke with all the podcasts that he like does that with, because we all like, I was talking to Firestar and they was saying some of the same things, like, yeah, Leonard just like, he'll just post the like out of context quote that we don't even like. It's just a regular quote, like, y'all ready to do this today? It's like, hey, you know what, but my point being, because he's sharing, someone else may have the same question as me.
And people ask,
click on the hashtag,
and I've seen it when people ask.
Check out the episode. They discovering us through that shit is my point. So thank you.
You do you, right? Yeah. And so I love it because I've clicked on the post and people are like, what is that show? Who are you talking about? And he'll be more than happy to tell them. So yes, I like when people at us and use the hashtag, because like I say, you're doing it in your own unique way, and however unique you do it, somebody else is gonna be drawn to it. So hey, no problem with me.
And people always say, I see this happen a lot of times on social media. Hey, I need a new podcast to listen to. Hey, what are some black podcasts that talk about blank, you know, or, you know, sometimes it's, you know, the other way of like, they don't talk about such and such. And like, I'm tired of just listening to black hip hop podcasts. So boom, that's how we can get on. So thank y'all that do that, man. And if you're not doing it, I hope you consider doing it in the future, man. All these apps y'all listening to, whether it be Spotify, whether it be Apple Podcasts, whatever, they all have a share button, and you can share it. And you never know what friends you're gonna find that listens to it, who want to have a conversation based off of it. We appreciate all y'all.
We do.
Black Weekly Podcast listeners who are parents have children who also listen. Yes, we know. We had a few testimonials.
Well, they be like, me and my baby listen, and my baby guessing the race with me, and yes, we absolutely love it, because it's one of them things. Well, guess what? Guess who control what's happening in here? I do. So we all gonna listen to it.
It's good to see like people able to cross generational divides and through the podcast and hear each other out and stuff, man. I just think that's so beautiful and fun when I hear that. So. And then, you know, sometimes I worry when y'all be like, my baby is 3 and they was listening to your jokes about cock, and I'll be like, okay, that a little weird. Not how I would do it, but you know, I believe in you, and you should be able to
believe in you as a parent.
So yeah, that was I thought that was a cool little thing I wanted to talk about on the show. Let's move into another segment. It's been a while since we did this one, but let's talk about some black capitalism.
Shout out to Will Smith. I hear y'all talking, but the only thing I'm listening to is that paper. Every day we get into that paper. Woo! I hear the money talk, I see you later. Every day we get into that paper. I hear the money talking, see you later. Don't think I forgot Harry Tubman's supposed to be on the $20 bill.
Still waiting on them Tubmans. E40.
Okay. The rapper.
Shout out to the Yay area. Okay.
West Coast rapper.
I'm sure Nick Jew's gonna call in and correct us, because I don't be knowing every detail correctly, and you know, she is the resident, you know, fact check on this, and I feel like I always fuck up somehow, even though I never mean to. But I know he's from the Bay Area, and I just remember when I used to get his CDs, they always came with like a glossary or index of the slang, because it's like he knew I had never heard that shit before. Like he was like, I know you heard, tell me when to go, but it's more to it than that. So when I'm rapping and I'm saying Fetty, you're gonna need to Google that. And it's like, first of all, almost every term meant money or weed. But
and I'm glad I got you, because I'm too lazy to try to decipher.
It was all like chocolate up the broccoli, and I'm like, oh, what's the chocolate up the broccoli?
What does that mean?
It's either money or weed, guys. Okay.
What are the
two? Earl Stevens had us thinking rational. Okay. E40 is adding another line of spirits to his already extensive collection.
I didn't even know he had a collection. I need to get on this. Can I have it shipped to North Carolina?
Tell me what, we can't get alcohol shipped to North Carolina.
They kill me with that here. Wow.
The Bay Area rapper announced the launch of Tycoon Vodka, a 6-time distilled vodka. The vodka is named after his 2016 song produced by Nonstop the Hitman. E40 has been teasing the new alcohol on social media for quite some time. He most recently shared a video to his Instagram of Tycoon vodka bottles lined up in a behind-the-scenes look at the manufacturing process. He previously shown off the drink's Art Deco style packaging.
Oh shit! Now can we see
the packaging? There's not a picture on here.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a picture.
No. Hold on. Let me see. I think there's like a video of his Instagram. You can see it here. Can y'all see this?
Mm-hmm.
That's him spinning the glass of the alcohol.
Oh shit!
It's just music, not him saying anything. That's what the bottle looked like. The Art Deco.
That's a pretty bottle.
Mm-hmm. He threw the ice up in the cup, and then he poured himself a little handle of it.
I like that top.
Mixed with some Starry. Okay, he said, "I'm not gonna get too."
What does that Starry taste like? I seen that shit pumped everywhere.
Girl, it ain't nothing but Sierra Mist.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, "What you trying to sell me, Sprite?"
Mm-hmm. That's Sierra Mist. That's what I did it, so you'll think it was Sprite.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Got your ass.
I actually thought it was another version of Sprite.
That's what I said. They got your ass. So yeah, Earl Stevens Selection is what it's called. Is alcohol line. He has Tycoon Vodka. It joins Tycoon Cognac, E Carenta Cerveza, a golden lager beer, E Carenta Tequila, Cooper Belt Bourbon, Cooper Belt Gin, along with 15 different sparkling and still wines. God damn, he getting it like Snoop Dogg. I had no idea.
It's a lot of money in that. Mm-hmm.
He also donated $100,000 to his alma mater, Grambling State University, because black capitalism, the only capitalism that look out for black people. It's the only one. Sorry, black people, you're never gonna get me to be against this shit. It's not gonna work.
You never, because we fucking give back.
I didn't even know this was in the article when I started reading it. I was just like, oh, cool, black person getting money. But it's always some shit where we be like, and then they gave the money to the children. And you're like, no one else do this. But
right, that's when they be like, yeah, shouldn't have had to be no billionaire. Don't believe that, because a lot of our money end up going back to our community.
Black billionaires only is what I say. Sure, some of them will be assholes, but a couple of them will be.
I'll be out here doing
$100,000 scrambling. I don't know. It's been working out well for white people. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Calm down. Grammy award-winning Lizzo finally owns the saying 100% that bitch.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yep. Now it's time to start suing some people.
She was like, y'all gonna stop selling these t-shirts.
Yep. The trademark, they had a trial, and the trademark trial determined at the appeal board determined that 100% that bitch belongs to the singer, as it is her logo.
Mm-hmm. You know how many, people been saying I'm 100% that bitch for years now.
Yeah. So she can go ahead and sell that stuff. Maybe recoup some of the money from the motherfuckers that sold the shit without her permission. I don't know. But good. She should always have owned it.
Go on concerts and shit like that. Yeah. Sell that shit. Put it on your website. I don't blame her.
TikTok strikes again. Chipotle is paying homage to creators Keith Lee and Alexis Frost by adding viral fajita quesadilla hack to menus. If you've been active on the TikTok in recent months, you've been likely familiar with the trend known as Chipotle cheesesteak. It's made popular by Keith Lee and Alexis Frost. The viral recipe consisted of ordering a steak quesadilla, adding extra cheese and fajita vegetables, which many compared to a classic Philly cheesesteak. Many TikTokers flocked to the Chipotle locations nationwide to get their hands on the creation, which caused strains on supply. This placed added pressure on employees who also expressed their grievance online.
Yeah, they was like, this is not on the menu. The fuck is this? Like, now you slowing us down, because a lot of people complained about that. Or y'all got the ingredients. Like, nah, you've never worked fast food. Like, you memorized the menu. Now all of a sudden you fucking up the routine. Now I got to look and read a piece of paper, and it's not normal. So I guess eventually they was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put it on there so people can memorize it, and we can make the process quicker. It'd probably be more effective for them. And that looks absolutely delicious. I'm done. Did Roger freeze y'all?
Karen, what's going on over there?
I just stopped talking and you didn't respond. So I was like, do you hear me?
Oh, so you can't hear this video I'm showing you?
No.
Thank you. Okay. I didn't know. Karen, everything's gonna be fine.
Okay.
I can try to do it again.
I didn't know what was happening.
I thought y'all could hear the video I was playing. That's all. I tried to show y'all the video of them promoting it. I waited till you stopped talking to show it. I didn't realize you couldn't hear me. This is the video. Can you hear it now? You hear it?
I don't even see it playing.
What? It says I'm sharing it.
Yeah, I mean, I see the video up on the screen.
Oh, so it's not sharing this particular tab. Okay. All right. Everything's gonna be fine. Once again, we'll do it again. No problem. This is a Crowdcast issue. Let's try it this way. All right, now
is the fajita quesadilla, and in my opinion, it's worth the hype.
Can you hear it now?
Yes.
Okay. It just dropped only in the Chipotle app.
And guess what? You can even get the vinaigrette.
So if you want to try it, you can get it in the app right now.
Okay, so that's cute. Like Chipotle, because like the thing is, they don't be asking for permission with Chipotle. A lot of times these aren't like tie-ins and stuff with Chipotle or whoever is the brand. So it's a good thing to me that that means they got a bag, because Chipotle saw the increased sales of this and they wanted to be, and TikTok people have put a lot of pressure on these brands to pay them for this stuff, even though it is a catch-22. You know, I can see why a brand would be like, why would we do that? Because not all these gonna hit, and you also don't want to be tied to every creator who comes up with some shit on your thing, and it can be inconvenient for your employees and your menu, because they don't have the same incentives or disincentives that you have. You might know that y'all are barely getting by with fajita vegetables and can't afford a run on fajita vegetables. But they don't know that, you know.
Right. So. And like you said, they ran out, of course, because we plan on the regular 250 that we normally average out per week. We didn't plan on getting a spike of 500, and so we got an extra 250 orders of fajita mix. So now by Thursday we're fucking out, because we gotta wait for the truck to come next week. So now they'll be more prepared for it, which is completely different. Now, like a lot of people fail to realize that, like, I worked at restaurants. You got to wait for that shit to come in next week.
Now, I don't know who this person is, but I guess this is videos also in there. What's your name? This just seemed like a random video to me. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Anyway, so the restaurant decided to make the quesadilla a permanent menu item staple. To pay homage to the creators behind this mouth-watering handheld, Chipotle has created limited edition menu items inspired by both loyal foodies. It's being dubbed the Quesadilla. This delicious pressed sandwich is a fajita quesadilla with steak, roasted chili corn salsa, sour cream, complete with Chipotle honey vinaigrette on the side. And Frost has the fajita quesadilla hack. Customers will also get a fajita quesadilla with steak, roasted chili corn salsa, tomatillo, red chili salsa, and sour cream on the side. He said he's blessed to work alongside Frost and Chipotle and called his creation a 10 out of 10. So, yeah, he's blowing up. And yes, I know that it's a controversy because he had some Bojangles and he didn't like it. Here's the thing. One, it's a free country. You don't have to like Bojangles, right? Mm-hmm. Two, quality of Bojangles do vary by restaurant. Not every Bojangles is hitting.
No, it's not.
Three, even with a great Bojangles, not all the items are hidden on the menu. So I can respect, like, you just order, if you order a chicken breakfast biscuit from Bojangles, you lost out. That was a mistake on your part. Now, if you order a steak, egg, and cheese biscuit, it's hidden every time. I've never had a bad one. But most people, it wouldn't even cross their mind to order that. The other thing that you have to know, you don't eat Bojangles chicken breakfast biscuits dry. You got to get like some jam. Like, people dip them in jelly and jam. People put the barbecue sauce on them. Like, because it's gonna be dry. It's not. And also, they sandwiches ain't really the attraction. It's the chicken.
Right. Because I think I seen it. He had got like chicken strips. I was like, oh, so you didn't get chicken. Oh, yeah. Okay. Like, most people do that. Most people from here go, okay, I want the chicken.
It is what it is, man.
Right.
So it's, I ain't gonna be mad at the brother for that. I mean, I made a joke about it,
and I don't blame him. What he's probably saying is true. He probably was like, it's all right.
I made a joke about it on Twitter. I said, wow, I agree with that woman that said he harassed her. Now cancel Keith. But I'm joking.
Oh no,
I'm joking. Last thing, Tyler Perry to donate $2.5 million to help older Atlanta homeowners. Won't he do it?
Let's go. One thing I like about Tyler Perry and what was really fucked up, because he bought that property and put all his stuff around there, but I guarantee you he did not know that the surrounding area, they was gonna be like, well, we did an asset on your property, and your property is such and so. Everybody else is around you, their property taxes is going to go up, and the people's like, we can't afford that. You know, talking about older people and shit. He was like, I got you.
I don't care.
I want him to buy. I want to buy BET. Buy that bitch.
I don't care whatever people have to say about him not doing the wigs right or whatever.
Don't care.
Or him not wanting writer's room. He'd rather write it all himself. I'm being frank. I don't give a fuck.
Don't care.
Because no one that talks shit about him has helped black people more than him. Zero of them have. Zero. It's not the way you would do it. No, he not the perfect example. He got some trauma issues, and he's a workaholic, and he's a fucking control freak and all that shit. I feel y'all, but this nigga built the table rather than ask for a seat at the table. And at the same time, all I do is hear about this motherfucker giving back, helping motherfuckers. They filmed Black Panther on his set. Like, this nigga is he doing it. And that's all this segment is for, is to be like, God damn, black people be doing it. Yeah, they get to the bag, and it's just so rare that you see niggas get to the bag where it's not a level of like, but I gotta do something to help the people out that come from where I come from. And that's gonna always be beautiful to me. And no one's gonna ever let me feel bad about that. I don't give a fuck how many Karl Marx books white people have told you to read. It's not changing shit for me. I love to see people get it.
He's taking care of them people around him. He was like, what y'all not gonna do is kick these old people out on my watch. Because he was like, I ain't had nothing to do with that.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Property taxes.
When I started getting like the game theory checks, I stepped up giving back to my alma mater. I was giving back before,
right?
But I was like, feel weird to get a check and don't be like, hey, Fayetteville State, I know it's hard out there, you know?
Right.
You know, it is what it is. You know, Bo was talking about giving back to Clark. Like, I don't know. I feel differently about black people getting money. I'm never going to feel the same. Like, it's all rich people are evil. No, certain ones.
Right.
All right.
Right. That's why I push back. Everybody should be billionaires. Ooh. You know who a lot of times say that? People that's never going to be a billionaire. So, whoa.
None of us is ever going to be a billionaire. But yeah, I just don't care. It's not even about me thinking I'm going to be a billionaire. It's not the illusion of the capitalistic dream. I just know black people move differently, because we done had to move differently to get to where we are. And we typically, we are doing something. Even if you don't think it's enough, we do something where people really would do shit for us. If it wasn't for us, nobody wouldn't be doing shit for us. All right, let's move on. Let's wrap this thing up with some guest race. All right. I know you guys love that. I love that. We love guessing races over here.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
That's right. It's Guess the Race time. Time we go all around the globe, find different articles, and Karen guesses the race of the people involved. So is the chat room, and everyone playing his races. Today's contestants are the people I just mentioned, Karen, in the chat room. Evansdale woman's 30K. Wait, Evandale's woman's 30K win at the center of lottery fraud case. Okay. An Evandale woman's $30,000 prize at the center of a lottery fraud investigation. Sandra Jean Crow, 63, turned in a winning candy cane crossword scratch ticket at the Iowa Lottery's regional office in Cedar Rapids on November 7th. The ticket was purchased for $3 at Quick Star on Fletcher Avenue in Waterloo. Now authorities allege Crow wasn't the actual owner of the winning ticket, and she served as a straw man to shield the real winner, who is her roommate, Alvin Hans Larson III. He didn't want to claim the money because he himself feared that the winnings would be applied to his outstanding debts and liens, including $919 he owed to the city of Evansdale, and he only would get what was left, according to the records. First of all, that's greedy as shit. He was like, I don't want the $30,000 if $900 got to come out.
Bitch, you get out of here.
Like, unless he got unless it's some other money he owns that I don't know about, that seems really petty.
Right. It's like, fuck that bitch that bad. I mean, come on, dog. They ain't your kids.
Right. Instead, he presented the ticket to his roommate. Instead, Crow, his roommate, presented the ticket to collect the winnings, which is the top prize for the scratch game with odds of 1 in 3.52 for any of the 1 of 17 prizes. Crow was photographed holding a giant novelty check for promotion purposes, and she took a lump sum of $21,300. Everything began to fall apart a month later.
Of course.
Police were called to a disturbance at their home. They found Larson loading up his belongings to move out. As officers stood by keeping the peace, the two argued about the winnings.
In front of police.
So the police was there just to be like, he's moving out. We don't want no domestic violence. And then she said, I cashed the ticket in. I wasn't entitled to the money, so she snitched. Yeah, it's a fraud. She is saying, I won it, Larson told the officers. Oh. He begged me to cash it in so he didn't have to pay any money he owed, Crow added. She then went on to say the ticket had been a gift from Larson. So now she wants the money.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's how that goes. Just go ahead and cash the shit in yourself and pay what you owe, and y'all wouldn't have had no problems.
Baby, it's a month after they cashed it in. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, in the first place, yes.
Right. Don't run it through somebody else.
He told the police it wasn't a gift and that they were trying to maximize the profits. He complained Crow controlled the money and he didn't get his agreed upon share. Both Crow and Larson were charged of lottery fraud, a felony, last week. Crow was released from jail. Bond for Larson was set at $5,000. All right, Karen, guess the race.
What are their names?
Well, it's really just a picture of her. Sandy Crow.
White.
All right, chat room. White says Lakita. White, snitching white, a lot of whites over here. And you're right, guys. The whites have it correct. Oh, wait. One person said ducking child support black. Ooh. Although you could be right. I don't have his picture, but this is what she looked like.
Yeah, because I don't see no niggas snitching about this in front of no police.
Yeah, like
that
it implies that the
stupid.
Police are on your side to even say some shit like this in front of the cops. And I would never believe that.
Right.
A married Manhattan financial analyst is accused of sexually harassing nannies.
Oh, leave the nannies alone. They just want to watch the kids.
He's a married Upper West Side financial analyst that has been accused of flippantly asking for oral sex during an interview with a nanny for his 1-year-old daughter. The 27, when he's not asking for oral sex for the 1-year-old daughter, he's saying I mean, it's still gross, but I know that sentence, the sentence structure was fucked up on that sentence. Like,
Okay.
he's asking for oral sex from a
From the
nanny.
nanny. Mhm.
But the nanny is there under the auspices that she would be a nanny to his 1-year-old daughter.
Right.
Now, what that also means is like the daughter is not even 1 year old. You already trying to get blown by the babysitter. Damn. The 27-year-old nanny, who asked to go by Dewan, told New York Post that her March 8th meeting with Jason Kupperman, 43, at his West 58th Street apartment left her feeling frightened and violated. Dewan told the outlet that she was alone with the 43-year-old when he took her on a tour of his lavish home, which sold for $297,000 in 2013. And when they reached the bathroom, allegedly he made the raunchy request. Now, how do you even do that? And this is the bathroom. Suck my dick? What?
Right.
He claims that while he showed her a cushion and said it would be good for performing oral sex, and allegedly asked, "Do I like blowjob? Have I ever done that or not?" Oh, so he said, "Do you like blowjobs? Have you ever done that?" Is what he said to her.
I'm like, what does this got to do with me watching the child?
Right.
I did not know this was a part of the interview questions.
And it sounded like he didn't even set it up. It just came in the middle of like a sentence. like he had to cut, like he clearly had it set up in his mind where he had a cushion sitting there to be like, "Oh, and by the way, you like blowjobs? You ever gave a blowjob to somebody?" Like, but it sounded like this was not that type of like there was no reason for him to do this, is what I'm saying.
That, and this was the only person that came out and said something. I guarantee you this interview is
it's not the only person that said something.
Oh, so multiple people have said something about this dude?
Yeah, at least 5 nannies. Yeah,
that makes sense. Because I'm about to say the way he talking, like, this is the refrigerator. Oh yeah, that's the chair. How do you like those blowjobs? And you got the marble top counters.
I know we normally get off work around 5. I expect like a get home from work blowjob, and then that's where the formula is, in the refrigerator over there. It's it's in the kitchen, which is not the blowjob chair room, but the TV gets all the channels. But yeah, so terrified, Dewan then began secretly recording the interaction and allegedly provided the recording to the New York Post. On the damning recording, it claimed that she demanded to know why he'd asked her such an inappropriate question, to which he responded, "It's like cleaning closet, doing laundry. You don't have to. I was just asking a question. You don't have to."
A word. I don't have to.
It's also interesting how he's using broken English to speak to her, like she can't understand English. It's probably like that person's second language or something.
I guarantee you it is.
Just because they talk that way don't mean they don't understand English when they're spoken regular. So,
right.
But yeah, it's like cleaning closet, sucking dick. Dewan is reportedly heard struggling to unlock the apartment door when she finally escaped, and is said to have reported the incident to police. A complaint about a woman being asked for sex during a job interview at Kupperman's address was confirmed by the NYPD. In the wake of the violating incident, several women who read a warning about him on Facebook came forward with their own experiences having worked with him.
So people post shit on Facebook. He been doing this shit for a while, but they was like, look, if you in the nanny group chat, the nanny world, they got a Facebook post, and I was like, this dude is creepy. He be wanting you to suck his dick, and that's probably why he can't find nannies or keep them.
His wife just like, man, these nannies, we really be going through them. Huh?
Right. Wife have no idea. We just flying through these nannies.
One person put in Facebook, "I'm part of a Brazilian group for babysitting gigs in the city. And 3 girls said the same thing. They were scared to say something or go to the police because of immigration status." Yeah, they definitely pick people for that reason. In another instance, a woman from Brazil said she exchanged messages with him about a possible job when he told her she was too beautiful and he wouldn't be able to control himself.
What?
Believe people when they tell you who they are. I definitely wouldn't step foot in there either.
Not me either. I'm good, dog. I'm good.
Kupperman, a member of at least one Facebook groups where the allegations were posted, has since deleted his social media accounts. A 22-year-old Manhattan resident who spoke anonymously to the New York Post said that she'd worked for the family for about a month and was also subject to lewd, suggestive commentary. So it's interesting because he may not have actually done it, like gone, like he may not have actually forced anybody to do something, but clearly he was looking to find somebody who would do it. Like,
yeah,
even if he, like, just because he's not like sexually assaulting people physically doesn't mean that this is like not dangerous.
correct. And these are the people that are coming out. How many people agreed to do it because they're like, well, at least I got a job. Okay, so I'll suck your dick, and
Right.
and then they end
There
up
could be some
leaving
people
after a
like that.
while. Yes, they end up leaving after they was like, okay, this is
Possibly.
abusive. Possibly, yeah.
Because
Yeah, you just never know.
So here's the thing: the baby's only 16 months old, so we really don't know. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
He may have done this, but he seemed like the type that if he had gotten someone to do this, they'd be the nanny right now.
I see what you said. That's why that's why the turnover rate's so high, right? Or either
everyone
just ain't got no nanny, right? For 16 months, right?
It sounds like no one's taking the job. Like, he keeps saying this shit during interviews, and everybody goes, I'm not sucking your dick. And like, what if you watch too much Bang Bros? That's not how this works at all. I'm not gonna do it, and I don't want the job. Like, that's what it seems like keeps happening. And his fucking wife,
like, we still don't got a nanny. She was like, let me look. No. I'll look. Guarantee you, the wife was like, let me look. Then shit, we should have a nanny by now. This don't make no sense.
Right? Everybody on the block got a nanny, but us.
Right? Everybody on the block.
Just let me be in charge of it. Just let me be. Well, why are you on Mike Does Brazil looking for a nanny? That just seemed like a weird place to be looking for a nanny. No, it's just, we need a certain type. I want the kid to be bilingual, so I feel like, we should get a nanny that speaks Portuguese. So I'm gonna just go keep looking at Juan's Hot Latin Adventures and see if we can find some. Looking, I'm just looking at TT Boy's Brazilian road trip. We just gonna see if we can find them there. You know what I'm saying? I'm really looking at some of these women have some really interesting legal situations going on. On my last day, the dad grabbed my ass in front of the mom. That was my final straw. And she says he claimed she was too hot to be a nanny. So that is assault right there. So I would assume that behavior would only escalate. If that happened in front of the wife and she didn't say shit, yeah, man, I would be scared as fuck.
Yeah, the dynamic of that relationship is a whole nother thing, right?
Yeah, I'd be scared to work there. You know what I'm saying? She said she quit the job by text the next day, but he kept trying to get in touch with her. I'm totally happy for you. You found a better job. No hard feelings at all. No need to ghost or block. I'm happy for you. I love to stay on good terms. Yeah, I'm sure you would. Now the wife has vehemently denied the allegations and said to the outlet, all I can say is that none of this is true.
I don't believe her. I don't believe her. You have a whole Facebook group chat of people talking about this nigga harassing them. I don't believe you.
The whole Facebook group talking about your husband being a nasty man, and you sitting up here talking about some. I don't believe a word of it. Okay.
All 25 of these women lying. Why you ain't got no nanny then? Why you can't keep a nanny then?
The allegations are false. Jason is a loving husband and a fantastic father. A 20-year-old from Manhattan said she exchanged messages with Kupperman about a babysitting job and asked to meet him in a public space for an interview rather than his home. It sounds like you are scared and immature, so let's just forget it, he said. The woman claimed, I take precautions like this because I'm no match for a grown man once I go behind that closed door. Right. I immediately got such a bad feeling and did not go through the position despite my desperation and rent to pay. He denied the allegations, calling them completely and categorically false. Some are from people I never even met. Others are from people who texted me after their interview saying how nice it was to meet and hope to work with me soon. I feel terrible if I unintentionally made anyone feel uncomfortable by a misunderstood comment or bad attempt at humor. Nigga who joke like this.
Right. This is
during a job interview. You know it'd be hilarious if you suck my dick right now. I'll just have my pants unzipped as part of the joke. Okay. All right. Well, I'm zipping it back up.
And the thing is, they don't want people to do it, but this is one industry, in my opinion, that needs to be regulated. The nannies need to be regulated. Like, you need unions, you need people to be like, look, these are the standard questions. Don't ask people shit outside of this.
The problem with this type of regulation you're talking about, Karen, is that it's a situation where a lot of people whose immigration status isn't necessarily on the up and up with with whatever, they go to this industry, so we're basically putting these people out of work.
Okay.
Right. So like to regulate it would change the face of it, but it would also change. It would stop the benefits of it. A lot more would have to change other than just this one part. Is what I'm saying.
Right, and y'all would have to pay people what they worth. Y'all couldn't pay them these cheap ass rates. You're probably underpaying them, because I know that there are people who do this and they're above board and all this shit, but y'all don't want to pay their rates because they're probably ridiculously high.
He also says, as a father to a daughter myself, I fully support equality and our shared social responsibilities. Although these allegations are untrue, I will take this as an opportunity to reflect on how I can pursue a more active role in working to make our society better for my daughter's future. Here's the thing. If I was falsely accused of any of the things he's been accused of, I wouldn't take time to reflect on any fucking thing. Because I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone was like, Rod, you grabbed my titties in front of your wife and I didn't do it, I'd be like, I didn't do that. I wouldn't be like, listen, I feel horrible that I made someone think I grabbed their titties in front of my wife. That's crazy. You did that shit. People who did that need time to reflect. That's why you need some time. Because you did.
Right.
Allegedly. Don't sue us.
Yes, there will be a problem. There, we everybody will be on suspension.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. It's
everybody be on suspension.
I feel like this is what guilty people do a lot of times, as like this. It's a weird compromise in their mind that only makes sense if you the guilty person of like, I'm such a good person, I'll even consider that I may have had some actions that led to 25 people accusing me of propositioning them while being a nanny. I'll think about my actions today. And I'm like, that's not a compromise. That's just you telling me you did it. Anyway, guess the race.
Oh, that's a white dude. Only white dudes think they can do some bullshit like that and it's all good.
Cocky white, says Keith. Yeah, it didn't say if he said suck my cock. That's true. Use cock in every one of those blowjob requests white. Law and order cock was in there. Mm-hmm. A lot of people went white and you got it right. Oh, my browser is freezing.
They didn't call it a couch. He was like, he called it a casting couch, and I don't know actually what that meant.
All I'm saying, man, I don't feel it's the same, but I do think it's fuck his wife too. Like, he fucked up for this. If she saw that man grab someone's ass in front of her and didn't say shit, it leads me to believe that she low-key has made some sort of compromise.
Yeah, that's why I said it makes me question the dynamics of their relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He must be the one with the money, and she's like, I'm not fucking up my bag.
Right. She's like, well, if he gotta be, it's that Camille Cosby all over again. Well, it's like, well, that's going on downstairs, All right, let's go to the bonus round. Karen, I think you're 2 for 2 today, right?
Yay!
That was why I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big thigh, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
All right, Karen is 2 for 2. We got the final guess the race. 2 bored men charged with ransacking Excelsior chocolate shop in December.
Bored or bored?
Bored. They were bored. And
okay, I thought you would say bored. Like I was thinking, is that a location or they was like, we ain't got nothing to do. Sal.
No, they were half wild boar, half men hybrids. They were like He-Man villains.
No,
okay. Bebop and Rocksteady. They was like one of them.
Okay, I thought you meant bored like a location, place, like type of thing. So I wanted to be sure. That's why I asked.
No, I know you love to talk about how it was a misunderstanding. I was just letting you do your thing. I was just going off.
Thank you.
Man, face felony charges.
You get my point in this comedy. Thank you.
It's not pointless. Two men. Sometimes it's happening with Justin too. I'm just playing the straight man to y'all being ridiculous. So I'm just trying to help further the bit. I think sometimes people that don't understand, I hate to break the fourth wall. People that don't understand probably think I'm genuinely like, oh my God, I'm so confused. But it's part of the bit, guys. It's funnier if I don't go along with it.
My bad. I broke out of character, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm the one that fucking. I made the joke and I fucked the joke up. I'm sorry.
It's 2,600 episodes of this. I know what I'm doing, and you know what you're doing at this point. So I think we got it. We're on the same page. I knew when I read the title that you knew that you didn't know. Two men facing felony charges stemming from December break-in and vandalism of a chocolate shop in Excelsior that led to a big community reaction. Alexander Running, 19, and Lester Prairie, and Karsten Lutschwager, 20. I'm sorry. That's not a name. That's where he's from. Alexander Running of Lester Prairie and Karsten Lutschwager, 20, of Minneapolis, are both charged with third-degree burglary and first-degree damage for property for allegedly breaking into the Truffle Hill Chocolates and spraying a fire extinguisher through the entire store, ruining all the chocolate during the end of the busy Christmas season.
Willy Wonka and them gonna whoop their asses and they're fucking up their shop.
The Oompa Loompas.
They're gonna oompa loopity loo.
Come outside, we're not gonna jump you.
All right. Oompa loopity loo.
What would you do with my foot up your ass? The duo broke through a window November 30th, 2022. They crawled in and they ate some chocolates, stole a computer and money, caused more than $24,000 in damage by spraying everything with a fire extinguisher.
This really is Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. They went through the whole place. They were just fucking up shit.
Maybe they the
family.
Like,
ooh, what does this do?
Maybe they the family of the kid that fell into the chocolate river and they never found them. They're like,
right?
This is revenge. The cops asked them why they did it, and they said it's because they were bored.
There's nothing else to do, Sal. The fuck is this?
Football was on. I don't know what happened.
I don't understand.
That's why we play our game. Search warrant filed by South Lake Minnetonka Police Department reveals many more details. They were arrested after being found in a stolen vehicle following a burglary alarm at Greenwood Market. During the police interrogation, they admitted to stealing the van, damaging the business in Greenwood, breaking into Truffle Hill Chocolates as well. Running stated that they had left, but Lutschwager was concerned that they had left potential DNA evidence and wanted to go back and cover up their crime. Then he returned on his own, re-entered the business, and used a fire extinguisher to cover for their DNA. Does that work?
Probably not. Probably don't. Probably not. No. I mean, nigga, it's chocolate. I mean, you put your face in it or put your handprint, the chocolate go hard, and they're gonna figure out who you are.
Also, I mean, my guess is, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a police officer, but unless you like fucked one of the boxes of chocolate, they probably not even tested for DNA.
I guarantee you they not.
They probably looking for like fingerprints. Like, did y'all jack
we found pubic hair in this chocolate? The fuck is this?
Like, why would they pull out the swabs? Maybe I'm wrong though.
You're gonna have them confused. They gonna be like, they tried to make a chocolate cock. We don't know what was happening. That was the fuck that was happening here. I don't understand. Unless you do that, they is not testing for your DNA.
Right. Let me look at this crime scene. It looks like we got a cocklet bar.
Look like some yummy cock and balls. Yeah, because they're chocolate. Thank you.
Looks like someone kissed these Hershey's back. So then
this right here make people want to lick them balls.
Someone's never seen an episode of CSI Miami around here.
Like, they making these terrible cock and ball puns about chocolate.
No, only one of us is making terrible ones.
You saying they 50% bad?
Yeah, like that chocolate was 50% off the next day and nobody knew why.
Nobody understood why. This chocolate don't taste right. It tastes a little cocky.
Got some nuts in it. The document said that Luschwaller was interviewed by police. He admitted to the Truffle Hill chocolate burglary and other crimes he was a suspect of in the other jurisdiction. Luschwager and Running are also charged with felony theft regarding the stolen van. They admitted to taking it when they tried to smash the door at Greenwood Market with a rock. Oh man, what a dumbass reason to catch a felony. Anyway, guess the race of these two guys.
I'm gonna go white.
All right, Karen's going with the white chocolate. Let's check the chat room and see what they believe. Bored, dumbass, wealthy white boys. All right, whites, coon cock whites. He held the fire extinguisher in the front of him, pretending he had a big cock white. Yeah, they weren't holding the fire extinguisher sideways, guys. These were some white boys.
Oh yes, they was. They got bad head too. They woke up bored and was like, "Let's go fuck some shit up."
Yeah, that's terrible. What a dumbass crime.
I
mean, it's like kind of harmless in that no one was physically injured and shit, but it's just it's very pointless.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the last thing. Let's get off of this and talk about some sword ratchet. Oh, sorry, ratchet. I'm a bitch. There you go. Woman terrorized. Wait, did I already do this? Hold on. Damn, I guess I never did. Oh, I must have did it on Keith and the Girl. All right. Huh. A woman terrorized a coffee shop with a sword, police say.
Okay.
Customers in line for wait, I gotta fucking buy a subscription. Anyway, this one went in Dunkin' Donuts and was swinging around the sword, guys. She's trash for that. Go to the next one. Fuck it. I'm not paying for this. How about this? A Buxton man threatened mother with sword and BB gun.
Oh, sword and BB gun. Okay.
He caused an 8-hour standoff on Monday. He threatened his mother with a sword and a BB gun during an argument over a video game. Shit. Motherfucker was like, I'm gonna finish Destiny 2, Mom. Chief Troy Klein said the incident began Monday when police were notified that the 44-year-old Andrew Forbes had repeatedly threatened her with multiple weapons. The mother had left the house. Mr. Forbes was upset that his elderly mother, in regards to Valentine's Day, an argument on Valentine's Day over the purchase of a video game. He said the mother told Forbes had threatened her on Friday afternoon with a cane sword, but she did not call police. The mother told Forbes it was a cane sword, not that. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep. It was a sword and a cane.
It was. That every time I hear that, I can't. I'm gonna say that every time I think about that old man.
In my mind, I thought it was a sword made out of like a cane, like sugar cane.
He had a regular sword and just all of a sudden pulled it out. It was like, you want some of this?
On Monday morning, he had a BB gun pistol in his hand and told her he could shoot her in the eyes and it would kill her.
Holy shit.
He was intoxicated and refused to come outside when the police showed up. They set up a perimeter, had an 8-hour standoff.
This is some love for your child that I don't understand, because this is probably not the first time he acted like this. Nigga, you 44. The fuck out of my house.
Right.
You ain't gonna be harassing me. You ain't gonna harass me at my retirement age.
Who was giving him swords and BB guns?
Right. We arguing about fucking video games. Nigga, go get a job and buy your own. The fuck
and
they ended up
having a standoff and ended peacefully because he's white. So Didn't
Putting a
shoot him up.
sword cane on me. Child boo.
Mm-hmm. So the police did end up just arresting him after the 8-hour standoff.
And guess what? When he come back, all the locks gonna be changed, all the passwords gonna be changed, everything gonna nope, you no longer live here, bitch.
Right. All right, y'all. That's it. We'll talk to you next time. Like I said, we'll see what the schedule looks like throughout the week, but prepare for probably a week or so of no shows.
I'm gonna see Roderick. I'm excited, and I'll be at the taping of the game theory. Yay!
Yes, looking forward to it. And Saturday, we're gonna go out. So I'll tell you when and where later. But we're going somewhere. So until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.